Folks, I'm going to use somebody else's video to make my point about Wildwood from my personal perspective, which goes back over 50 years. I haven't been there a lot of times. I've been to Long Beach Island way more times than Wildwood. I've been to Belmar in that area, Belmar, New Jersey, in that area, way more times than Wildwood. But the point I wanted to make is that I had no idea, and it just goes to show you how well I do not know Wildwood as the people that are hanging out there now that you see in this video. Obviously they know it a hell of a lot better than I do. But I had no idea that this boardwalk goes on forever. Literally goes on forever. I mean, it's got to be as long as, or longer than the boardwalk in Atlantic City. I know Wildwood is a big deal. Thank God it trounces Seaside, because I don't really have much of a high opinion of Seaside Heights, New Jersey. I mean, if you have no place else to go, it's worth going to, but I wouldn't recommend it. I just don't like it. I won't get into that too much. But my point is, when I was about 5 years old or so, for some reason I was down in Wildwood with my grandmother, who is no longer with us, and my aunt, who is also no longer with us. And I'll never forget that summer, that time, because two things happened during that time, whatever it was, back in the 60s. I was on the boardwalk, and apparently my shoe fell apart. My grandmother had to buy me something to put, a new pair of shoes or sneakers or something to put on my feet because my shoes were falling apart. I remember that. And I also remember, I think it was a different day, we got lost. My grandmother and I were trying to get home at night from somewhere, I don't know where, walking around the streets, not on the boardwalk. The part I remember was when we were walking on the streets and we were lost. But what we ended up doing is following the light from the lighthouse that was somehow was our guide to figure out where we were or how to get home or the direction of home or whatever. But the point I wanted to make is we got home. And then I'm actually remembering a third thing, that I got a bad sunburn that year. I mean, I've gotten bad sunburns many times down the shore, but that particular year I do remember having gotten a bad sunburn at that during that stay. I wish I remembered how long we were down there. It was just so long ago. We're talking about the 60s, so that's like 50 plus years ago. So it's not surprising I don't remember, but I wish I did remember how long ago it was. And the other point I wanted to make while I have the airwaves here is this is at least the second time that I live in a rooming house in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I want to warn you people, be very careful, because this is the second time I've gotten a bad cold. And again, this has nothing to do with Wildwood or the shore or anything like that. Be very careful. This is the second time I've gotten a very bad cold. And I know I got it in that bathroom. We share a bathroom on the second floor. I'm on the third floor. And I hesitate to use the word scumbags, but I will. They are, but obviously I feel I got the cold from these scumbags that live here. But so be very, very careful when you're in the bathroom. If you live in a rooming house like I do, there's like 9 people that share that bathroom. So it's not surprising that you're careful, because you don't want to end up with me with a bad cold that's going to last. I I think the last time I had this bad cold, it lasted like some ridiculous amount of time, like 6 weeks, or some ridiculous amount of time. But the other thing I was getting back to the shore in Wildwood, I'm wondering how much is similar or the same now as it was when I was down there in the 60s. There must be some stuff that's still the same, not much, but this boardwalk, it just goes on for. I'm used to considering that Atlantic City is a long boardwalk, and that goes on for quite a distance. But this has got to beat Atlantic City. To reset this nonsense. This has got to beat Atlantic City in terms of distance and things that I had no idea. I knew Wildwood was a big deal, but the fact that it's probably twice as long as Atlantic City boardwalk and has twice as much stuff, maybe more than that, maybe 3 times as much stuff, is just blowing my mind because I didn't know it was that big a deal. So it's a bigger deal than Atlantic City, than Ocean City, than any place you can, because I've been to most of them. The only place I know I haven't been is Cape May, which is down near Wildwood. I haven't actually been to Cape May. But I finally am realizing now that Wildwood is the number one. If you want a long boardwalk with a lot of restaurants and a lot of attractions and a lot of whatever you want to call that stuff they have on the boardwalk, you have to go to Wildwood. Signing off from Allentown, Pennsylvania.